each other in terms of the review. So we started the class tonight when I talked about variables and measuring. So we've had different statistics in this class. Remember, we've had, just going back, when do we do a chi-square on something? When you have frequency. 20 people said this, 10 people said that. That's going to be a chi-square. A z-test. Remember when you do a z-test? A z-test you do when you have information about the population. IQ, ACT, SAT. I got this sample, I want to know if this is different than that. That's going to be a z-test.
Information about the population.
And you have your own sample, so 20 people took the ACT and their score was X. We know population information. It's not used that much. T-test. How many types of t-tests do we have? Two. They are? Independent and paired. Independent is where everybody's measured once. Two different groups. Paired, usually pre-post. If you're asked for that information, make sure you specify which one. Then we got into the one-factor ANOVA. If we have 3 levels, then we can do a one-factor ANOVA with 3 levels, and then we do that post-hoc test to see the different levels. And then we had the 2-factor that we've talked about some tonight, and then the correlation and regression. So let's open it up officially. You'll have till August 17th to complete this. What I will be able to give you is, you can send me one draft of each question. I will look at one draft. In the past it's been no drafts, but one draft. So make sure it's a good draft that you do if you want to send me a draft. So let me show you. This is question 1. Question 1, and it's multiple parts. This is the part that we just talked about. What is the right statistic to use? So it's a 2-factor ANOVA, paired t-test, one way. So I've got all these questions. Please don't say anything out loud here. It would kind of break the ethics of the situation. I am designing a study to assess how a new medication may impact quality of life for individuals with kidney disease. In the study, I measure quality of life before and after I give the drug. Which one is right? Choose it. Tell me why in a sentence or so. Tell me why the other 4 are not right. B, same thing. Tell me which one is right. I'm designing a study assessing the best methods for teaching college students. I have 3 classes, 10 apiece. Second class this, third class this. What's going to be the most appropriate method? Why aren't the other ones going to work? Once you say why the other ones are inappropriate once, usually you can be pretty brief about it, but this is worth 50 points, so there are 5 of them here. At least I think so. Questions about the questions. So do this, send me a draft. I'll say, yeah, you got these 3 right. This one isn't quite right. Add here, and then you do it, and then you get your 50 points. That's number 1. I could have had 5 separate spots for 5 questions, but I just decided to combine them because it'd make my grading a little easier. Questions 2 and 3 are together. Questions 2 and 3. This one is, here's a table. You have to answer some questions and fill in some stuff here. So if you look at this table, once again, not to say anything here, what type of statistical analysis is being shown here? Hopefully it's fairly obvious. Please tell me what the missing values in the second table are. Could you figure this out? You should be able to look in your notes. It's open note, open book, go back and look. Pretend that the second data set changes to 15. How would that change things? Write it up, have the question, have the answer, send me a draft. I'll tell you if you've got it right or not.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you want us, like in the outlines, how we had to write out all of the work that we did? Are you wanting us to write it out the same way here?
I'm kind of hoping you'll show me kind of how you got there.
Does it need to be as detailed? Like, do we need to show the mean, like 10 plus 11 plus 12 equals whatever divided by 3?
If you show me, well, I guess there are 2 answers to that. If you do it all right and you show me intermediaries, then I'll probably look at it, yeah, you got it. But if you screw it up and you show me all the details, then that'll enable me to say, no, that number's wrong over here. Question 3 is kind of the same thing. Here's a quality of life study, new drug for asthma. Fill it in. and tell me what you know, given that. So it's kind of fill stuff in. So that's 2 and 3. The last two. Last year there were 7 questions, but no, it doesn't seem like I'm being nice to you. Last one is, this is the correlation and regression one. I'm attempting to do a study to assess if ACT test scores are good at predicting success at college, GPA. So I give you some information here. Write out statistical and real world conclusions for this. For this is what you learned tonight. Actually, I think I can give you a little more slack on this one. Up to 2 drafts on this one, because you've never sent me anything here. In another study, don't forget the second part, looks at how well SAT predicted it. So tell me what's a little different here. So for the correlation and regression one, you can do more than 1 draft. And then finally, last but not least, I had to give you a 2-factor here. Make a little table up. See if you can compute things. I gave you the between groups amount. Do I need to give you a little more than that? I may in fact need to give you a little more than that. I'll double check. The idea is to compute a 2-factor ANOVA and give me statistical and real world conclusions. It's on an Alzheimer's disease medication. There are some clues with the sig value, so this is what you need to do. If you can do this for all these things, 1 draft, except for the correlation and regression. If you can do these things, then in your future, whatever it may have for statistics, you'll hopefully understand this and know how to do this well. I certainly appreciate all of your attention in this particular class. Do you guys have any questions about these assignments? There's no more face-to-face. There's no more weekly class either. You've basically got, 2.5, 3 weeks to just work on this. There'll be no more lectures, although obviously tonight we had a lot of them.